This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Worries grow on the Grand Lucayan. The government's still paying property expenses, but workers haven't been paid. The court orders restoration of world-famous Valley Boys non-profit status. And the RCI Beach Club, the Royal Beach Club, officially opens. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, December 15th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndre Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk with a Purpose group of companies. They've got something very special they're doing for the Christmas season. You don't want to miss that. And later in business, we're talking about mental health and the holiday season with the Bahamas Psychological Association. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, amid growing questions and concerns on the status of the Davis administration's deal with U.S.-based real estate and resort developer Concord Wilshire for the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort, the remaining employees of the Freeport property have once again been advised that their salaries will be delayed. The NASA Guardian understands that those employees deemed essential to maintaining the property are working mainly 2 days a week. There's no activity at the resort, which has been fully shut down. The workers were informed in a correspondence from Grand Lucayan's Chief Financial Officer, Deborah Gomez. She was updating on outstanding payroll for December 5th and current payroll for December 12th, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, again, due to circumstances beyond our control, these payrolls will not be paid today. We'll advise soonest as to expected payment date. Our sincere apology for further delay and regret the hardship and difficulty this unfortunate inconvenience has caused." To great fanfare back in May, you may recall the government signed a heads of agreement with Concord Wilshire for the sale and redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan. The announcement was hailed as a turning point for Grand Bahama, as Grand Lucayan is a flagship property deemed essential to the growth of the island's economy. At the time, the government said that all expenses associated with the property would be assumed by the developer. But the NASA Guardian confirmed that the government is still covering the property's expenses, and there are increased rumblings in certain circles, the much-heralded deal is in troubled water. Meanwhile, F&M leader Michael Pintard lambasting the Davis administration over what he called its, quote, deliberate silence on the status of the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Pintard in a statement yesterday saying, quote, more than 200 days have passed since the government signed a heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan. After more than 200 days, the Bahamian people still have no timeline, no transparency, and no answers. Every serious question raised by the Free National Movement has been met with silence. That silence is deliberate. After more than 4 years in office, the Davis administration has failed to deliver on two of its biggest promises it made to Grand Bahama, the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan and the rebuilding of the Grand Bahama International Airport. An interim court decision has ordered that the world-famous Valley Boys Junkanoo Group be restored to the list of registered nonprofit organizations and that its business license and tax identification number be restored. The order was given verbally in court by Justice Leigh Farquharson, and a written order is expected to be issued sometime today. The group said it welcomed the order, which also said that the National Junkanoo Committee is to refer to the group as the world-famous Valley Boys, established 1958. In all private and public correspondence. The Brian Adderley-led group is one of two to emerge from last year's split of the original Valley Boys. The other group, which has taken the name the Valley Boys, is led by Trevor Davis. Davis's group is more commonly referred to as the Way Forward Valley Boys. Both groups claim to be the true representation of the original group, but the issue is unclear in various entities, from the Junkanoo Corporation of Providence to the NJC. They've both taken different positions on the issue. Royal Caribbean International officially opening its $200 million Royal Beach Club attraction on the western end of Paradise Island. This was Saturday, marking the first of a group of Royal Beach Clubs set to open across the world. In the first quarter of next year, Bahamians will be able to invest in the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Prime Minister Philip Davis says the investment aspect is important for Bahamians. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism and Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, says he's confident that the new Royal Beach Club will generate more customers for vendors on Bay Street. The 17-acre development is 49% owned by the government and is set to welcome its first set of guests on December 23rd. Popular TikToker Elias Fritz and two other young men Friday pleaded not guilty to multiple charges stemming from an August 11th shootout with the police during a high-speed chase in New Providence and the shooting of a taxi driver. At their arraignment before Justice Wilhelmina Archer-Mins, the 19-year-old Fritz, also known on TikTok as Jado World, along with 18-year-old Jared Roll and 19-year-old Irvin Butler, faced charges of attempted murder, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, attempted armed robbery, and possession of a firearm and ammunition. The accused, who are all on remand, denied the allegations. The case has been assigned to Justice Dale Fitzpatrick for trial, and the accuser will appear before him next month for a trial date to be set. And a mother wept as she told a courtroom how she hugged her son, Mikhail Miller, and told him she loved him after he was sentenced to 3 months in prison for stealing her cell phone and tablet. Weeks later, on November 1st, 2021, Rose Miller received a call from the prison's chaplain informing her that he was dead. Diallo Williamson is accused of Miller's murder. Prosecutors allege that Williamson beat Miller to death inside their shared cell in maximum security. Williamson, who's on remand, has denied the allegations at his trial before Justice Janine Weech Gomez and a 9-member jury. The witness said her son was a psychiatric patient with a history of admissions to Sandlands, and he became violent when he didn't take his medication. Miller said she was desperate to get her son admitted to the mental hospital in October 2021 and went to the police for assistance. She said she tried to have her son committed for violating a restraining order that a neighbor had obtained, and she claimed that her son was infatuated with the woman and thought she was his wife. More on that in today's Nassau Guardian. And Prime Minister Philip Davis encouraging more Bahamians to invest in their skill set and take advantage of the free educational courses offered by Upskill Bahamas, the new national digital learning initiative launched last month. During his remarks at Opportunity Hub's visit to the Edmund Moxie Community Center, Prime Minister Friday celebrated the strong response Upskill has received so far, offering more than 40 courses Upskill was launched to tackle the skill gap and equip Bahamians for the evolving job market. Since the platform's launch, over 8,000 Bahamians have registered and 27 courses have started after the first grouping of courses began December 1st. Overseas, a father and son are suspected by officials to have killed 15 people on a popular Australian beach, shocking a country where gun violence is rare. The government today, a day after the shootings, proposing tougher new gun laws amid criticism that officials didn't take seriously enough a string of anti-Semitic attacks. Little is known about the suspects in the attack on Sydney's famous Bondi Beach, but there was widespread shock when officials said that the two men pictured firing weapons in social media were related. The 50-year-old father, who was killed, arrived in Australia in 1998 on a student visa and was an Australian resident when he died. Officials wouldn't confirm what country he migrated from. His 24-year-old Australian-born son, who was shot and wounded, is being treated at the hospital. The target was a Hanukkah celebration where hundreds had gathered to celebrate the first day of the 8-day Jewish holiday, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese calling it an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. He said that Australia's main domestic spy agency, the Australian Security Intelligence Agency, had investigated the son for 6 months in 2019. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported that the agency had examined the son's ties to a Sydney-based Islamic State group cell. Albanese did not describe the associates, but said the spy agency was interested in them rather than the son. And Chile's ultra-conservative former lawmaker Jose Antonio Cast securing a stunning victory in the presidential election Sunday, defeating the candidate of the center-left governing coalition and setting the stage for the country's most right-wing government in 35 years of democracy. Cast won 58.2% of the votes as Chileans overwhelmingly embraced his pledge to crack down on increased crime, deport hundreds of thousands of immigrants without legal status, and revive the sluggish economy of one of Latin America's most stable and prosperous nations. Cast's supporters erupted into cheers in the street as results trickled in, shouting his name and honking horns. His challenger, communist candidate Jeanette Jara, clinched 41.8% of the vote. Cast hailed his decisive margin of victory Sunday, saying it provided him with a broad mandate that was also a tremendous responsibility. And tens of thousands of Brazilians demonstrated Sunday against a bill that advanced in Congress this week, which would reduce the time former President Jair Bolsonaro spends behind bars following his sentence of more than 27 years for attempting a coup. Protests took place in the capital of Brasilia and in other major cities across the country, including Sao Paulo, Salvador, and more. On Copacabana's boardwalk in Rio de Janeiro, crowds composed of left-wing voters chanted "No Amnesty" and "Out with Hugo Motto," a reference to the Speaker of the lower house, which approved the bill on Wednesday. It's now with the Senate. Famed musicians also performed in Rio, where the sun was sweltering and the atmosphere both festive and indignant. Many held signs reading, quote, "Congress is the enemy of the people." And some shocking news from the world of entertainment. Director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were two people found dead Sunday at a Los Angeles home owned by Reiner. Investigators believe they suffered stab wounds, and a family member is being questioned by investigators. The Los Angeles Fire Department said it responded to a medical aid request shortly after 3:30 p.m. and found a 78-year-old man and a 68-year-old woman dead inside. Reiner turned 78 in March. Detectives with the Robbery Homicide Division were investigating an apparent homicide at Reiner's home. Los Angeles authorities investigating that at the residence in the upscale Brentwood neighborhood on the city's west side that's home to many celebrities. Reiner was one of the most prolific directors in Hollywood, and his work included some of the most memorable movies of the 1980s and 90s, including This Is Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men, When Harry Met Sally, and The Princess Bride. His role as Meathead in Norman Lear's 1970s TV classic All in the Family, alongside Carol O'Connor, catapulted him to fame and won him 2 Emmy Awards. Killings are rare in the Brentwood neighborhood. The scene is about a mile from the home where O.J. Simpson's wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman were killed in 1994. In sports, Major League Baseball professional player Jacob Gatewood and a professional women's softball player Erica Pianscatelli left the 8th edition of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise as the Home Run Derby King and Queen. The event wrapped up on Saturday evening at Montague Beach. Pianscatelli, who plays for Italy's international softball team, cracked an impressive 11 homers to defeat Morgan Howe in the final round of the first and be crowned the first Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise for women. She's the official Derby queen for that event. The Olympian said she's elated to take home the bragging rights. Meanwhile, Gatewood emerged as the winner of the 8th edition of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby for men. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. The Bombs' under-23 3-on-3 women's basketball team delivering a gutsy performance on stop 2 of the Caribbean Basketball Confederation's 3-on-3 Caribbean Cup Tour, falling narrowly 13-11 to Jamaica in the championship game at Malcolm Park on Saturday night. While the women's under-23 national team clinched a silver medal finish, Haiti turned back the Bahamas' under-23 men's team 16-14 in the semifinals, leaving the team on the outside looking in with a 4th place finish. Ultimately, Jamaica's female and male teams both left the tournament with gold medal finishes. Jamaica knocking off Haiti 16-14 in overtime in the under-23 male final. And under the theme honoring the spirit of the Bahamas, every athlete, every victory, the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations hosting what they hope will be the first in a series of annual events honoring track and field athletes who represent the country at various meets throughout the year. The B3A's All Bahamian Awards celebration held at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium Sunday night, recognizing all the track and field national teams that were in competition for the 2024-2025 season. Read more on that in today's Guardian Sports section. A big day of football Sunday in the NFL and some major disappointments. Patrick Mahomes suffering a torn ACL, and his Kansas City Chiefs say he's considering surgical options. The star quarterback was hurt when he tried to keep the Kansas City Chiefs' postseason hopes alive in the waning seconds of what ultimately was a 16-13 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. More injuries. Green Bay Packers star Micah Parsons is believed to have suffered a torn ACL in his left knee. That's according to a person speaking to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. Parsons' injury is a devastating blow to the Green Bay Packers, who lost 34-26 to Denver to fall half game behind the NFC North leading Chicago Bears. The Packers now are 9-4-1 for the season. And Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys watched their playoffs hopes all but vanish to a 34-26 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 6-8. They won a second consecutive game after they were eliminated from the postseason race. Before the kickoff, Minnesota was a 14-win playoff qualifier a year ago. The Cowboys are 6-7-1 and have to win their 3 remaining games in hope defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles goes 0-3 in order for Dallas to overtake the Eagles in the NFC East. It's going to be tough. And Philip Rivers fighting back tears as he considered what message it would send to his sons or the young men he's coached that he nearly led the Indianapolis Colts to a victory at age 44. Rivers choking it briefly saying, quote, "There is doubt and it's real. The guaranteed safe bet is to go home or to not go for it, and the other one is, shoot, let's see what happens." I hope in that sense it can be positive to some young boys or young people. Rivers ended a nearly 5-year retirement to start Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks and played efficient football for the desperate Colts, who turned to the future Hall of Famer after Daniel Jones was lost for the season with a torn Achilles tendon. Threw a touchdown pass in the first half, played mostly mistake-free, and moved the Colts into position for Blake Grupe's 60-yard field goal with 47 seconds left, but Jason Myers responded with a 56-yarder that gave the Seahawks an 18-16 victory. And more from football, college football. Fernando Mendoza, the enthusiastic quarterback of number 1 Indiana, winning the Heisman Trophy Saturday night, becoming the first Hoosier to win college football's most prestigious award since its inception in 1935. Mendoza claimed 2,362 points, including 643 first-place votes. He beat Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia and Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Mendoza's Heisman. An emphatic win. He finished first in all 6 Heisman regions, the first to do so since Caleb Williams in 2022. Mendoza guided the Hoosiers to their first number 1 ranking and the top seed in 12-team college football bracket, throwing for 2,980 yards and a national best 33 touchdown passes while also running for 6 scores. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a gale warning in effect for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. It's part of an active cold front that is racing through the northern half of the country today and into the central Bahamas by tonight. That front, along with mid to upper level troughing, will produce bouts of showers and thunderstorms along and ahead of the frontal boundary. Strong high pressure will quickly build behind the front, ushering in cooler temperatures, strong to gale force winds, and dangerous marine conditions. More on the front over the next few days in a bit, but for today, there is a high risk of rip currents and very rough surf across Atlantic exposed shorelines. Due to the wind-driven waves, beachgoers and swimmers are advised to stay out of the water. And there's a high risk of coastal flooding along eastern coastal roadways. Large overtopping waves and wind-blown sand can prove hazardous to motorists and pedestrians, and everyone's advised to exercise extreme caution, especially if you are in trouble areas like the Fishing Hole Road in Grand Bahama and the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. For today, for the northern half of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy, a 20 to 30% chance of showers, decreasing to about 10 to 20% chance by later today. Winds north to northeast at 20 to 30 knots with gusts to gale force at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, The Central Islands will see a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming partly cloudy by nightfall with a 30 to 50% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms. Winds north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots early this morning, but increasing to 20 to 30 knots by midday with gusts to gale force. Variably cloudy for the southeastern islands, a 20 to 20% chance of isolated showers, increasing to 30 to 40% chance by later today. Isolated thunderstorms possible by tonight. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots with occasionally higher gusts by late evening into nightfall. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs near 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius for the extreme northern islands. A bit warmer for the rest of the country, low to mid 80s for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. About 84, 85 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius for the central and southeast Bahamas. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the upper 60s for the extreme northern islands. About 71, 72 for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, and around 73, 74 for the central and southeastern islands. That's a range of about 19 to 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
This holiday season, come to John's on Rosetta Street, Ocamica Road for all your footwear and fashion needs, where we've got you and the family covered. Shoes, bags, jewelry, clothes, and even home appliances. John's has everything you need for work, church, play, or the party in your life. John's has Skechers, Steve Madden, New Balance, Nautica, Hey Do It, Patrick Ewing, and other trusted brands. A John's gift card is the perfect gift. So come on into John's and start your holidays off on the right foot. Merry Christmas, Bahamas!
This Christmas, while we're wrapping gifts, preparing the ham, and celebrating with the people we love, let's also give ourselves a gift that lasts. At CFAL, we believe the best presents aren't found under the tree, they're built over time. A stronger pension, wiser investments, real financial peace. So whether you're just starting out or planning your next chapter, CFAL is here to help. This Christmas, give your future a little love with the help of CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy. The kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Schedule your test drive of the truck that's built for the Bahamas by visiting easy242.com or call 461-0100.
This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new, fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays, only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. You can listen to us on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Andrew Cartwright will be joining us shortly. Also this morning, a lot to get to. We are going to tell you about the Purpose Group of Companies. They have a very special thing they were doing for Christmas, and you can be a part of it. We'll give you all the details. That's coming up. And later, we're talking about mental health and the holiday season. And a lot of people have challenges at this time of year. We'll get some tips and advice. That's all I had. But right now, it's time to talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, before we get into what's happening locally, just so much bad news over the weekend. What unbelievable number of terrible things. What happened in Australia, what happened at Brown University in the U.S., and what happened in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, the famous director and actor, found murdered in his home. He and his wife murdered, believed to be a relative, and sending shockwaves to everybody. Just very, very sad about all of it. And wow. Wow. And of course, if you don't know, Reiner, a really fantastic actor, but also better known for now as a director with some real classic movies. Again, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, This is Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men. Older folks will definitely remember from All in the Family, always butting heads with Archie Bunker, but just crazy, coming from a long line of entertainers in his family. His father, Carl, also just a comedy legend, but just real sad stuff there. And again, Australia, the mass shootings, they've cracked down on guns, but they're saying they're going to go even harder now on it. Just wild. Anyway, all right, so the big headlines in the NASA Guardian. Worries grow on Grand Lucayan. Government still paying property expenses. Workers apparently not being paid. Arcandia Dame's writing about it today. Amid growing questions and concerns on the status of the Davis administration's deal with U.S.-based real estate and resort developer Concord Wilshire for the sale of the Grand Lucayan for $827 million, and that includes the redevelopment. The remaining employees of the Freeport property have once again been advised that their salaries will be delayed. The NASA Guardian understands that those employees deemed essential to maintaining the property are working mainly 2 days a week. There's no activity at the resort, which has been fully shut down. The workers were informed in a correspondence from Grand Lucayan's Chief Financial Officer, Deborah Gomez, who updated on outstanding payroll for December 5th and current payroll for December 12th, saying, quote, unfortunately, again, due to circumstances beyond our control, these payrolls will not be paid today. We will advise soonest as to the expected payment date. Our sincere apology for a further delay and regret the hardship and difficulty this unfortunate inconvenience has caused. As you may recall, to great fanfare, back in May, the government signed the heads of agreement with Concord Wilshire for the sale and redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan. The announcement hailed as a turning point for Grand Bahama, as Grand Lucayan is a flagship property deemed essential for the growth of the island's economy. At the time, the government said, quote, from this point forward, all expenses associated with the property will be assumed by the developer. This is a significant shift in fiscal responsibility, as the government had been paying approximately $1.5 million per month over the past 3 years, amounting to an estimated $63 million in holding costs. But the NASA Guardian confirming that the government is still covering the property's expenses, and there are increased rumblings in certain circles that the much-heralded deal is in troubled waters. When contacted on matters related to Grand Lucayan on Sunday, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, Minister for Tourism, had no comment and advised the Guardian to speak with the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Finance, which have carriage on the matter. The NASA Guardian has presented several questions to OPM, including why the government is still handling the resort's expenses after announcing those expenses are now the developer's responsibility. OPM Communications Director Latrey Ramming has also been asked to provide an answer on how much, if any, of the announced $120 million sale cost has been received by the government from Concord Wilshire. No answers have come as yet. The Guardian understands that the buyer made a down payment around the time of the heads of the agreement, but the government has provided no details on the transaction, instead opting to keep the Bahamian people in the dark. Well, I mean, okay, that's an interesting way to put it. Well, okay. Sure. Frustrated employees of Grand Lucayan are seeking answers on the property's future and on their own jobs. One employee on Friday appealed to the Prime Minister, saying, quote, be honest with the people and tell the people exactly what's going on with the hotel and let us do what we need to do. What does that mean? If we have to search for other employment, let us do that. But don't keep people in the dark and have people holding on. For what? For you to have them come in here 2 days a week and for you to still not pay me? You're making a fool out of the Bahamian people. You have us for fools. That employee fears that frustrations may lead some to get in trouble if they cannot get paid to support their families. Yikes. That employee saying, quote, something needs to be done fast. If it isn't, it's going to be a serious problem when Christmas comes and these people can't even put one little piece of ham on the table. Okay. A Guardian source speaking without expectation of attribution said up to $15 million could be owed in severance payments, salaries, and other arrears, including to the Grand Bahama Power Company. After a power cut at Grand Lucayan in October, this is the Trey Ramming. Ramming said that there was a brief issue during the turnover process, and saying this was a matter of reconciling utility bills attributed to the government and the new owners. There is no occupancy of the property, and operations remain in transition as redevelopment efforts continue. Well, back to that employee expressing anger over the Prime Minister's silence on the issue. Prime Minister Philip Davis has repeatedly dismissed calls to provide a full update on the Grand Lucayan. Okay, there's a whole lot more on that, and there is another story in the paper today with F&M leader Michael Pintard. Basically, the government over this and what he called deliberate silence, saying, quote, more than 200 days have passed since the government signed a heads of agreement for the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan. And after more than 200 days, the Bahamian people still have no timeline, no transparency, and no answers. Every serious question raised by the Free National Movement has been met with silence. That silence is deliberate. After more than 4 years in office, the Davis administration has failed to deliver on the two biggest promises it made to the Grand Bahama, the redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan and the rebuilding of the Grand Bahama International Airport. 4 years of announcements, 4 years of photo opportunities. 4 years later, there is still no hotel, no airport, and no plan. The consequences of that failure are now spilling over onto workers and their families. Grand Lucayan employees have not been paid since December 5th. Many were advised not directly by management or the government, but through email with no clarity on when they will be paid, how they will be paid, or whether their jobs are even secure. Workers have now gone weeks without pay during the holiday season, left anxious, exposed, and uncertain about how they will provide for their families. At the same time, water has been disconnected at the property. A major hotel in Grand Bahama is without basic utilities while staff go unpaid. The situation did not happen by chance. This failure sits squarely at the feet of the government that announced a deal, claimed success, and then walked away from responsibility. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot in a week before Christmas. Hey, DeAndre Cartwright, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight.
Let's hear from all of you on this. This is a lot to be dealing with. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I know Pintard is going to be feeling quite, I don't know what the word is, but he didn't go to this photo op that he's calling it now. So, and people were criticizing him at the time, but my God, here we go again with just a show and little to show for it.
All I hear is bills ain't being paid. This is powerful. I'm just trying to understand what type of deal this was, but then again, when we haven't heard details on how many other numbers of deals and situations and reports and things like that, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And we're ending yet another year. How many months out from an election? I just wonder, where has the transparency gone?
Well, I don't know if we ever had much of it, but okay. Let's hear from you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, and to both of you.
Hi, good morning.
So you're saying that 1.5 million should have been paid, or 120 million was paid?
I mean,
to the government,
we don't know, but the staff isn't being paid. The staff isn't being paid.
But
we don't know anything. That's the only thing we know, that the staff's not getting paid.
But who was it? obviously the 1.5 or the 120 million
120 million.
was paid to somebody,
Well,
but we don't know who.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not sure if it was all that, but we don't know anything. We don't know anything at all.
But the government is when you look at this name, Shire, Wiltshire, all the shires that you find in London, they all seem to be connected to masters who control things.
Well, I suspect they pronounce it sure here,
okay,
but
but
so it might not be
Just
Shire, but because it's American.
Yeah, but right.
But
when you look at it, there's no airport, no hotel, there's no plan for anything, and there's no water. So obviously, this place smells, and it smells like it smells. Anyway.
Well, no matter what, whether there's an odor or not, the whole thing stinks.
Well, see, I didn't mean that physical odor. I was talking about it smells like a political party.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And then I stopped.
You're in a very rare form today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No, let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning, and good morning to Deandra.
Good morning.
Many years ago, a group by way of one government arrived in the Bahamas, and initially they called themselves the I Group. And a substantive amount of land in Meguana was allocated to this investor with the intention that that investor was going to deliver on a major development project in Meguana.
We remember, yes.
Years later, the I Group has yet to deliver, and the land, gradually, they're using it for smaller, little incremental rollout of things that has no substantive benefit to the Bahamian people at large.
They're still involved? They're still around?
They're still there, but the land is being used on small scale for smaller things in terms of, and not necessarily resort or anything, just one little, maybe a house here or a dock here or nothing. In other words, the initial overall dream that they sold the Bahamian people has turned out to be malpractice on behalf of the people who actually sold the dream and the people who sign off on it. Again, you would think that all these years after independence, if foreign direct investment, is one of the lifeblood of how successive governments drive revenue and development for the country, you'd think we'd have a master plan in place when these people come to the table to avoid all of these. In my view, this is leading into investment malpractice because there is no way, you and I, on any level, we get involved in development of small businesses. And usually there are lots of things that has to be in place, particularly when it comes down to the monies to do the business. And it seems as if one of the key ingredients missing here is maybe the developer didn't have the monies that he said he was supposed to have, because usually once you got money, you just go ahead and do what you got to do. Since that project has been announced in Freeport, it's true that the only thing that's happened is they took a tractor in proximity to the building and scratched a bit on the concrete, so that they were going to demolish the building, and that was about it. So my question this morning is this to successive governments, and including the current government. When are we going to stop allowing foreign investors to bamboozle us? When are we going to stop allowing foreign investors to arrive here? And I remember, wasn't it Long Island that they made this massive announcement that this huge thing was supposed to take place in Long Island, and then after that you heard nothing no more?
Listen, I want you to understand that I personally had conversations with certain senior officials in government about that, and one or two of them, I don't know if I should say this out loud, but they also expressed their doubts. I've yet to hear from that, and that actually brought so much attention from our people on Long Island, so much hope, and then to hear years later, like people still talk about it. They're wondering what happened. The selling of dreams, and the, like you were saying, the unsubstantiated acceptance that investors can do things like this. I'm just wondering. Show me the paper. Show me the substance. Just like how we as Bahamians, if we want to go get a loan, we want to get a mortgage, we want to start a business, we have to show certain things, show certain documents. Shouldn't this be a part of the transparency process? And again, maybe it's supposed to be, but maybe certain concessions are made. But then also, just like how with certain concessions are made for Bahamians, like say if you get Crown land, for instance, you have to develop it in a certain amount of time. Are those types of restrictions not also applied onto persons involved with foreign direct investments?
Let me give you a simple example, Cartwright. The Minister of Transport, when just recently, those persons who were issued taxi franchise, if you get your hand on a copy of the document that the Minister of Transport used, the document gives the partnership an expiration if the person receiving the franchise don't live up to certain obligations within a matter of days. I think it's 60 to 90 days. If that person doesn't buy a vehicle and take that franchise out of road traffic, they would take that plate back from the average black man. But foreigners could come in this country and promise to deliver, and there's no expiration date on the agreement. If you don't do this, then the land goes back and we put it back on the market. These people are getting help from the inside to bamboozle the Bahamian people, because I know if you could tell me if John Doe down the road, who's an average blow Joe, don't take his franchise out of road traffic, the expiration and the plate goes back into the system, why you won't say the same thing with a massive amount of Bahamian land sitting in foreign hand and they ain't doing nothing with it?
Okay. A lot to think about. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow. It is very disappointing. Somebody here, is it a pattern with, I don't know. I don't know if it's, I can't say it, but no, all of them have their issues, all the parties, but they're saying it seems to happen more with one organization. I don't think that's true.
I think we'd have to actually trend the amount on each side, but I don't think we can fairly say that it's one party over the other. They're
pointing to Ginn and what eventually happened to Bahamar as signs. But we can remember the same thing happened with Royal Oasis in
there are
Grand
many
Bahama,
examples, Dwight.
and that was with under Ingram with the F&M. So they're all around. We just seem to accept whatever these folks are selling, and
we drank the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid. They got us to make it.
And charged us for it too.
Yeah. But again, as John is saying, the due diligence that they would execute on Bahamians doesn't seem to be done for some other folks.
I just wonder why that is. I think it just goes back to a part of it is also how we perceive ourselves, and then what do we expect of ourselves as a people. The after effects of colonialism and the superiority in certain people's minds of foreigners over our own selves. I wonder about these things. But I want to go back to the Long Island thing just to clarify further. Mm-hmm. The particular investment that was mentioned was it was literally not necessarily the actual infrastructure development to occur. It was an investment portfolio of sorts. So they were trying to raise the funds to get things done. Unfortunately, the people didn't understand that very well, because when we talk about these business ideas, when they come up, we don't break it down to a point where persons can truly understand. So if you tell the residents of a particular island that you're coming up at, say, $200 million, you can do a development for $200 million, they're thinking you already have that.
Right.
And the reality is no, you're trying to raise that amount of money. I'm of the opinion is don't come around. Sorry, I can speak like a Long Island person or Baytown woman or whatever, because I grew up a couple different places, right? Don't come around my head talking nothing about no couple $100 million if you ain't got that inside your pocket, because you're just wasting my time.
Well, that's why you're not in the House of Assembly, because that is not their motto at all. My Lord. At all. Anyway, this person says here, about 30 minutes into the Grand Bahama event, I texted, is this a political rally? The pushback, why y'all can't be happy for Grand Bahama? Okay, I don't know who you texted. When the government announced electronic voting, people said too fast. The pushback, this is progress. What do you all complain about? No, I agree. I definitely said that one because I still don't. Anyway, months later, the government admits the register does not reflect constituency composition. But that's being disputed, though, by the folks at the Parliamentary Registration Department. So the same people you are. Let me read your text. We need to open our eyes to words and ask the hard questions before predictable fallout. I hear you, and that is true. Mm-hmm. That is true. On
which particular matter? On which particular issue?
Ask the hard questions on all. On all. Definitely.
Okay.
No due diligence is being done with foreign direct investment applicants. The people on the negotiating team for the Bahamas government do not have the requisite skill set to evaluate these project applications. I don't know if that's true. But they're very eager to get some things done. And I think that might be hindering. But I don't know. Unless you know something. Who are you to tell us they don't have the skill set? Send us some more information. Social and political appointments in key positions. That's killing us. Simple. Ginn in West End and Port St. George, is that what that was? In Long Island, and the I Group in Mayaguana. Shall we continue? Yeah, it's been a lot. Almost every island has one. Almost every island has one. Caller, what say you? Are you there? Good morning. Hi. Nope, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Hey, Dwight, why they arrested Brittany Harris as soon as she came from Canada? Who cares? This person says, Dwight, you riddled off several projects that failed under the PLP, but you had to go back almost 20 years to the Royal Oasis deal that fell through. In that case, nothing was transferred. The project owners did not want to take on the outstanding liabilities associated with that project and simply walked away. I don't think that's true. Is that how that went? I think that's not why that place sat there. It's still sitting there.
How many places?
I'm just
are
saying, but this is okay. Sure, whatever. 323-6232. It's rotting. 325. The whole bazaar had to be torn down. Well, come on.
Again,
325. Whatever the government touches, no matter who it is doomed to fail. Whatever they're involved in.
Let's see if we could find one thing. I could try. I could think about it. Let me see.
Okay.
Thing. The cruise port?
What do they have to do with that? They have nothing to do with that.
Okay. BTC. Half and half.
Yeah. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720.
BPL.
I'm answering your questions.
I know.
300-5720. All right, so continue to send your messages about it. There's something else in here that we want to get to. We may start it and get to it a little bit later in the show, but this is another interesting thing here. And you could say government involvement, too, causing problems. Anyway, I don't know. Court orders restoration of world-famous Valley Boys nonprofit status. There's a long story in here about this. Our Rachel Scott writing about this. So an interim court decision has ordered that the world-famous Valley Boys Junkanoo Group be restored to the list of registered nonprofit organizations and that its business license and tax identification number be restored. The order was given verbally in court by Justice Leigh Farquharson, and a written order is expected to be issued sometime today. The group said it welcomes the order, which also said that the National Junkanoo Committee is to refer to the group as the world-famous Valley Boys established 1958. That's long.
It's a mouthful.
In all private and public correspondence. The Brian Adderley-led group is one of two to emerge from last year's split of the original Valley Boys. The other group, which has taken the name The Valley Boys, is led by Trevor Davis. His group is more commonly referred to as the Way Forward Valley Boys. Both groups claim to be the true representation of the original group, but the issue is unclear as various entities from the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, to the NJC, they have taken different positions on the issue. Last year, when the JCNP was still managing the New Providence Junkanoo parades, it decided that the Adderley-led group would be the only group of the two permitted to rush in the A Division. The government had decided to award A-Division seed funding to both groups, citing a need to remain impartial until the courts make a determination on the case. Back in March, a Supreme Court judge lifted an injunction that had prevented the Valley Boys, the world-famous Valley Boys, from being struck from the register of nonprofit organizations. The registrar had found that the name was too close to the Davis-led group, which was already registered as a Valley Boys Junkanoo group. All right. So this is a long story, and we're going to read some of the statements when we get back from the break. But yeah, a lot happening here. Let's get your quick reaction to it, though, before we go to the news. What does it mean? What will happen? Will this make for a very, very interesting Boxing Day, New Year's parade? What are we dealing with here?
The two of them participating from what I heard.
Yes, they both are. They both be the Valley Boys, it seems.
I got my tickets front. I got to see this. I mean, I go every
Which
year,
one?
but still.
Boxing or just
No, boxing.
both?
I tried to go. Like I always try to get tickets for New Year's, but I always find that I don't go because I prefer to be in church. And then by the time I'm done, I'm like, I'll just watch it on TV. Because then again, there's another issue that always happens. Like every single year, people who have not purchased tickets find their way in the seats of persons who have purchased tickets every year. I have literal videos from persons with tickets being told that they have no seats.
Well, the organizers are saying they're cracking down on that, and that people will be.
Did you see the
using
amount of seats that
technology.
are that were reserved for non-paying people inside the in the ticket thing?
Yeah,
I was
special guests.
That was hundreds of people. Like if I had to
Wow.
count up all of those seats, that was crazy.
Can we squeeze this in really quickly? Call, you got like 15 seconds. Can you make it really quick?
Because Grammy, only thing Grammy boy got to say about the situation today is somebody could lose their job and somebody may end up going to jail.
What?
I tell you.
You're going to have to call back after the news.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Okay. Hey, this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
And welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:19, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Letting you know that art supplies are back, fresh stock, new inspiration. A sale going on through December 16th, up to 20% off. Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas. So we've got an active cold front that is racing through the northern half of the country today. It's going to get into the central Bahamas by tonight. The front, along with mid to upper level troughing, will produce bouts of showers and thunderstorms along and ahead of the boundary. Strong high pressure will quickly build behind it. ushering in cooler temperatures, strong to gale force winds, and dangerous maritime conditions. In fact, we've got a gale warning in effect for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas today. That front's expected to stall near the southeast Bahamas by Tuesday, maintaining unsettled weather across that part of the country through midweek. Meanwhile, strong high pressure and a dry, cool air mass will support generally stable conditions for most of the rest of the country, and strong winds persisting across the entire archipelago into midweek. A gradual warming trend is expected towards the end of the work week, but the trailing end of another cold front is expected to skirt the northern islands by Friday with a few showers. For today, there is a high risk of rip currents and very rough surf across Atlantic exposed shorelines and waters of the and most waters of the country due to high wind-driven waves. Beachgoers and swimmers are advised not to enter the water. And there is a high risk of coastal flooding along eastern coastal roadways. Large overtopping waves and wind-blown sand can prove hazardous to motorists and pedestrians. And so everyone's being advised to exercise caution, especially if you're in Grand Bahama near the Fishing Hole Road and near the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. Temperatures today look for highs in the upper 70s only for the extreme northern islands, about 26 Celsius. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas, highs around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. And for the rest of the country, highs around 85 Fahrenheit, 29, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to the upper 60s for the extreme northern islands, around 21 Celsius. For the low 70s for the northwest Bahamas, around 71, 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius, and the mid-70s for the rest of the country, around 23, 24 Celsius. For tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy with a high 20 to 40% chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms for the central and southeast Bahamas. By Wednesday, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few sunny breaks across the northern half of the country and the central Bahamas, but a mix of sun and clouds, turning mostly fair at night for the southeastern islands. Still elevated chances of rain for the bottom half of the country. And a mix of sun and clouds again for Thursday into Friday. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales, inviting you to take a test drive in the Geely Radara all-electric pickup and enter to win an exciting box of everything you need for a great Christmas. Visit Easy Car Sales, the only Radara authorized dealer in the Bahamas. And at 8:23, it is time for another check of traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your goals happen here. In your real-time traffic, we've got a number of hotspots for you. We've got Blue Hill Road seeing very heavy traffic this morning, northbound from about Carmichael straight up to Independence Drive. You're going to see that, especially as you get closer to Soldier Road. Not looking pretty there at all, and you're going to be seeing some slow-moving southbound traffic as well. Traffic is backed up along Carmichael from just east of Fire Trail until you get up to Blue Hill Road right now, and that's eastbound. Over on East Street, similar story, slow-moving northbound traffic north and south of the intersection with Soldier Road. And, of course, there's Milo Butler Highway seeing heavy traffic for you just north of Fire Trail as you approach Harold Pond on the way to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway. That's northbound. Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway backed up a bit westbound as well at this hour. Downtown Nassau, we're seeing some heavy traffic on West Bay Street, as just east of Arawak Key. As you get closer to Nassau Street, that's eastbound traffic, and that's going to pick up for you again once you get onto Marlborough Street in front of the British Colonial and onto Bay Street. Very slow-moving eastbound traffic at this hour. Shirley Street also seeing slow-moving westbound traffic as you get closer to East Street. and especially as you are making your way near Paradise Island and the Mackey Street intersection. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Get a quote however suits you. Stop by your nearest branch or get an instant motor quote online at nuainsurance.com. Quick questions or big decisions, they've got you covered.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean. CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
It's an island love Christmas. Joy's in the air. Jackpots are rising. There's luck everywhere. No snow on the ground, just sunshine and cheer. It's an island love Christmas. Best time of year.
Island Luck wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Lucky New Year.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
This New Year's Eve, Bahamar invites you to experience a night where luxury meets pure island energy. A night designed for those who want to welcome 2026 in unforgettable style. On Tuesday, December 31st, the party ignites on the shores of Cable Beach with dazzling entertainment, premium open bars, gourmet food experiences, and a midnight fireworks spectacular lighting up the sky. And headlining the celebration, one of the biggest names in global music, Grammy Award-winning superstar Sean Paul, live at Bahamar, bringing an explosive performance that will carry you into the new year with non-stop vibes. Indulge in the taste of Bahamar Culinary Showcase. Dance under the stars and immerse yourself in the ultimate New Year's experience, all at the Caribbean's leading luxury resort destination. Make this your most iconic New Year's Eve yet. Secure your tickets now at bahamar.com/events. Bahamar, life spectacular.
Santa's not the only one delivering good deals this season. Aquapure's Christmas coupon special is here. Grab a book of 10 5-gallon coupons for $37.50 plus VAT, regularly $42.50 plus VAT. These coupons never expire, which makes them great for gifting or staying hydrated all year long. Make your holidays flow with Aquapure's Christmas coupon special by calling 394-7873 or ordering online at aquapure242.com. Aquapure, joy for the holidays.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeAndre Cartwright on this Monday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the Purpose Group of companies that got something very special they're doing for Christmas. And you can be a part of it. We'll get details about that from them. Later, we will be talking about the holiday season and your mental health. It can be a very challenging time for many people. We'll get into that in just a bit. That's all ahead, but we continue to talk about what's in the news. Before the break, we got into the Valley Boys controversy and what the court is saying here. So we're going to read the statements that came from all the various groups. So the world-famous Valley Boys issued a statement, the Way Forward Valley Boys issued a statement, and the NJC issued a statement as well. So there's a lot of writing going on here. So this is from the world-famous Valley Boys. They issued this on Friday. And it said, the world-famous Valley Boys wishes to advise the public that following an emergency application heard on Tuesday, the 9th of December, His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Leigh Farquharson, has made a series of important interim orders affecting the world-famous Valley Boys. Pursuant to the interim order of the court, 1, the Registrar General is directed to immediately restore the first claimant, the world-famous Valley Boys, to the list of registered nonprofit organizations. 2, the Department of Inland Revenue is to restore the first claimant's business license and tax identification number once all requisite statutory requirements are satisfied. 3, the National Executive Committee is ordered to address, describe, and refer to the first claimant as the world-famous Valley Boys established 1958, in all private and public correspondence. And 4, the interim order shall remain in effect until further order of the court. 5, there is liberty to apply. I'm sure that's some legal term, but okay. Wow. So the Way Forward Valley Boys issued a statement as well on this. And they said, we write to provide an important update regarding today's developments in the ongoing court matter concerning the use of the Valley Boys name. Please be advised of the following. 1. The injunction was granted in favor of the opposing party. The court acknowledged that the Minister of Youth registered the world-famous Valley Boys without the required supporting documents, specifically a business license and VAT number, documentation that all 7 groups were required to provide. Since the government accepted the application without these prerequisites, this became a significant factor in the ruling. 2. Seed funding was issued to that organization despite the absence of the mandatory documentation. 3. Despite a clear request for an affidavit to respond to the claims brought by the world-famous organization, the minister did not submit the affidavit. The lack of response placed our position at a disadvantage and was noted in today's proceedings. 4. It also became evident that the Attorney General's office is not addressing this matter with the seriousness it deserves. What? They continue to send an attorney who appears unprepared to adequately defend the minister and the registrar. Well,
this is heavy.
I'm sure people across the land are saying, join the club. Join the club.
No, man.
Huh? Anyway, okay. Yeah, resulting in insufficient representation before the court. 5, a stay was not granted for the previous ruling and was granted. While today's developments may be disappointing, we remind every member of the Valley Boy family that our unity, integrity, and purpose remains unshaken. We have always worked to do things the right way, and we will continue to stand firmly on principle. They may want us to crumble, they may want us to give up, but we won't. The gloves are off, oh boy, and we are standing stronger than ever, stronger in unity, stronger in purpose, stronger in spirit. There are more with us than against us. Valley to the core, Valley forever. This means war, in caps, and 2 exclamation marks. And then in caps, revenge of the arthropods. Okay.
The what?
Sure. What? That's their what? That's the thing. Oh, there's a little thing in the thing. The theme for forever or for just this one coming up. Nice. So that's what, like, insects type stuff. Great. Okay. Yeah. So that's what they said. Now, the NJC issued a statement as they've been ordered to refer to the group with that very long title. Let's see what they say in their statement. Statement on the Valley Boys' world-famous 1958 court ruling. The Ministry and the National Junkanoo Committee note the recent court ruling concerning the use of the name Valley Boys and wish to clarify the circumstances surrounding the registration and participation of the group commonly known as World-Famous 1958. While the court has ruled that both groups may use the name Valley Boys, it is important for the public and for the record to understand that the government and the NJC acted throughout in good faith and solely in the interest of protecting Junkanoo, its practitioners, and the thousands of supporters of both versions of the Valley. The Brian Adderley-led faction's application to participate in the parade was not accepted outright under the name World Famous Valley Boys. Rather, the application was accepted on a strictly conditional basis, with a clear understanding reached during meetings that included Mr. Ricardo Trico, a member of the group's executive, that the group would be recognized as World Famous 1958 unless and until the required documentary evidence was provided to support any claim to the Valley Boys name. Despite having missed the original registration deadline, the group was nevertheless allowed to participate in order to preserve the integrity of the parade and avoid disenfranchising performers and supporters. Seed funding was also provided under this conditional arrangement, even though the deadline had passed, again in the interest of fairness and continuity. At no time did this accommodation constitute validation or endorsement of any claim to the Valley Boys name. To date, the ministry and the NJC have not received the supporting documentation required to substantiate the group's application under the name World Famous Valley Boys. Well, okay, that's This is unnecessary stuff. Is it just me? Or is it just me? Am I just tired of reading? I don't think this is... You're going to do it or what? You're going to recognize them as that or what? What is all this? Anyway.
They're covering all their bases. Right.
Okay. While the matter was actively before the courts, the ministry and the NJC acted responsibly and advised that the group would not be referred to as Valley Boys so as to not prejudice the legal... Okay. Wait, this is already cleared up. This statement is unnecessary. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's therefore deeply disappointing that notwithstanding the conditions that were clearly discussed and accepted, the group proceeded to court under circumstances that do not accurately reflect the conditional nature of the registration or the agreements reached with the government. This is bigger than you, NJC. They wanted that for the public and for everybody and the other Valley Boys to know. It's not about you. I don't think so. The government and the NJC wish to make it clear that no sides have been taken in the matter. Every action was guided solely by the need to protect Junkanoo, maintain public confidence in the administration, and to ensure that fans and participants were not unfairly disadvantaged or excluded. As the matter may be subject to further legal review, the ministry and the NJC will continue to act responsibly, transparently, and on the advice of counsel. We remain committed to fairness, accountability, and the preservation of Junkanoo as a national cultural institution that belongs to all Bahamians. Okay, let's get your reaction really quickly, folks. I'm running out of time in this segment, but let's hear from you. The phone lines are already lit up. Maybe Grammy Boy's called back to explain his comments before the news break. Good morning. I don't know. Good morning. Caller, are you there?
Good morning, Dwight. How are you, man?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. Man, listen, like I said from the beginning, this legal thing, let it work itself through the courts. Everybody getting involved, it didn't make no sense. Husband and wife going through divorce, stay out of it. Let the courts rule. If you get involved, it gets muddy. I know this was going to rule like this, but everybody rushing, doing what they feel like doing without the court final say. You see? Come on, man, guys. Y'all don't listen, and then makes other people look really bad. Or, so shall I say, it looks like they had intentions. It may not be, but that's how it looked. You know, let the courts deal with this stuff. Do not rush to judgment. And I'm hoping that this will be the final thing with this Valley Boys Siaga situation, because the other groups are going to capitalize off the situation, like the Saxons. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, the Way Forward group says this is not the end. This is war. This means war. I hope the war will be on the Junkanoo on Bay Street, right? Like, do we have to go back to court? I think the people will understand that, will they? The two Valley Boy groups? Maybe not.
They understand because it could be two of them there. They just may not know which is which.
And as the caller says, two Valley Boy groups to get beat. I don't know.
I don't know, man. They may be doubling their chances to win, man.
Sure.
All the way, so Valley in first and Valley in second.
They were having a hard time beating them when they were united.
Well, yeah, that part right there. I was asking my baby sister the other day because she calls herself a Valley girl. I was like, so which Valley, though? And everybody who I keep asking that, it was like, no, I'm a Valley at heart. No, which one, though?
They can tell you, though. They just don't want to tell you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Deandra.
Hi,
Dwight,
good morning.
You know, I just want to say, I know we talk about the Junkanoo, right? But I want you to understand this actually shows an endemic failure of our registration process and the lack of technology. We talk about being a one-stop shop and all of these different things and how we embrace technology and digitization and everything. I just want you to understand how in the national people will look at this as a means of the process that they would have to go through for their intellectual property, for their trademark protection and all of these different things. It reflects badly on us as a nation, because these are all integrated into the whole business aspect. What happens is the NGO aspect is just a classification of the type of exemption for nonprofit status. And just let me say also, Dwight.
I don't know, Seattle. I mean, I think if you cover all your bases.
Dwight, just look at, I'm saying it's a process, right? These are the same process you would go to register your company, and whether it be with the registrar, with the tax office, with the AG office. These are the same processes that businesses have to go through. And so it reflects on the whole process, because, you know, Dwight, in technology, if I have a name, technology would not allow it to happen for the duplication or similarity, whatever, based on the instructions that you give it. I'm just thinking about, we talk about this one-stop shop. The one-stop shop is not happening because it's a digitization process that allows things to flow smoothly, and it's not happening. Just one other point, Dwight. When the marijuana for the 10,000 acres come on, I think I was one of the only person in 2005, 2006 that stood up here on Grand Bahama after doing my investigations, showing that the people who at that time did not have the financial ability, and at the same time the market was softening. On your question concerning Royal Oasis, is now owned by Harcourt. They have assumed responsibility for properties after they initially closed because the sewer system for Bohemia is located on the property, and they had to take it over. So the company, it's a lot of manure in the decisions, whether it be for GAIN, whether it be for the I Group, whether it be for the stuff in Elutra. If you go and look at every announcement made on Grand Bahama and around, these announcements have been made over 20 years, and every single year we re-announce them and count them again as part of $1 billion worth of things that's coming down the pipeline.
Wow.
And when you look at it and you deduct that this was already announced and we don't have to count it again, you will see the endemic failure of economic development in the country because we keep gaslighting us by dressing up and relaunching the same thing over and over again.
Okay, thanks a lot. Protect yourselves, register your names, do everything, cover all the bases, go to every single department so that you don't end up like this. That's the lesson to be learned. Don't take anything for granted that everyone knows I am this person. Doesn't mean that. All right. Messages as we get ready to go to the break. This person says here, warning to the people, the good and the evil. This is war. To the right, to the left, we will fight the death. They say this is from a song from 30 Seconds to Mars. So
Oh,
that was, yeah, right.
I was like, should I prepare for something?
Wow. Yeah, okay. And this texter says here, in this Valley Boys debacle, one thing I've learned, making a gentleman's agreement with snakes is highly impractical. This is the reason most of the members wanted an election, because the people they were under are in all means deceptive. Okay. Hope they work it out. This person says arthropods include crabs. Is that true? Yeah. They know what that means. Ah, boy. Well, maybe no, I won't say this. I was going to say the other group could come out as insecticide. That could be their theme. But no. Maybe that would be the Saxons theme. I have no idea what's going on. Let's take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Schedule your test drive of the truck that's built for the Bahamas by visiting easy242.com or call 461-0100.
This New Year's Eve, Bahamar invites you to experience a night where luxury meets pure island energy. A night designed for those who want to welcome 2026 in unforgettable style. On Tuesday, December 31st, the party ignites on the shores of Cable Beach with dazzling entertainment, premium open bars, gourmet food experiences, and a midnight fireworks spectacular lighting up the sky. And headlining the celebration, one of the biggest names in global music, Grammy Award-winning superstar Sean Paul, live at Bahamar, bringing an explosive performance that will carry you into the new year with non-stop vibes. Indulge in the taste of Bahamar Culinary Showcase, dance under the stars, and immerse yourself in the ultimate New Year's experience, all at the Caribbean's leading luxury resort destination. Make this your most iconic New Year's Eve yet. Secure your tickets now at bahamar.com/events. Bahamar, life spectacular.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us. Strike the harp and join.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, and D'Andre Cartwright on this Monday morning. Changing gears now. The Purpose Group of Companies has got something very special planned for Christmas. Here to tell us all about this, we welcome him in a totally different capacity, Jadson Gray. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Very pleasant. Good morning, Dwight, D'Andre. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so tell us about this Purpose Group of Companies. Give us the details about it.
There are 3 smaller Bahamian-owned companies: transportation, property management, and excursion, tours and excursions. And we wanted to give back this Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah? Yes. Simple as that. This is the first time you're doing this, or?
Last year, felt inspired for some reason. Somebody donated a ham, and there's this big monstrous piece. What do I do with this?
Right.
Got it on the 24th, and felt led to grab some peas and rice and some coleslaw and some macaroni and some other things to prepare some meals and just drive around Christmas morning and feed some folks that I could see that were in need.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And you're going to do it again this year?
More purposely. Mm-hmm. So the mission, whereas there were like 30 meals that were prepared and distributed and just driving around, the initiative, and we're calling it Let Love Lead. We're not asking for anything, but we do know that folks in our various communities, folks that may be challenged or that may not get a hot meal on Christmas Day. So we're asking you please to send us WhatsApp messages. We have several contacts. I'll give them to you here in a second. And just let us know. This isn't about likes. It's about extending love. Mm-hmm. So there will be no photos, no videos being taken, just addresses that you provide. And we very discreetly drop those off to folks so that they have a hot meal for Christmas.
Yeah. How many can you provide? How many can you help?
The mission at this point with what we have on our own is about 75 to 100 meals.
Wow. Okay. All right. So again, you said it, but let's go through it in detail. How do you do this? What do you want the public to do?
We want the public. We're going to give you some numbers. If there are individuals in your community that are challenged or may not have a hot meal this Christmas, we know who's in our communities. Send us a text message, send us an iMessage, send us a regular message, leave a voice note, and just give us that information. We'll start probably about 11:30, 11:45 on Christmas Day. Wow. Dispersing and dispensing hot meals.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's the number?
The numbers are 814-5253, 823-8294.
Slow down a little bit there.
Okay. All right.
823.
8294.
8294. Mm-hmm.
816-5292.
5292.
And 817-5292.
So we'll say this again before we end. So, and how many people are involved in helping to get this together to prepare the
very,
food?
very, very small team, about 4 individuals.
Wow.
Rest assured, every Blanket Sound, Andros, and Betsy Bay Miguana is preparing food, so you know it's going to be some good stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not there. Are they coming here to prepare it, or are they?
We're going to meet at a central location.
Okay.
We'll start preparing the day before. We want it to be as fresh. And the items that we're going to plate to head out around 11:30, 11:45, like I said, plate up, put them in temperature control bags, and hit the streets and go and deliver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Have people started hitting you up already, or what do you say?
I did a couple of things on social media just to try to get the word out, and I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here to spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
But there has been some positive feedback, limited as this may be, and appreciate the opportunity to kind of get the word out to more people to see that we help as many people as we can.
Wow. Okay, so give us those numbers again. Slow down a little bit. But
All right.
We're going to post this on our social media as well.
We appreciate it. So it's 814-5253, 823-8294, 816-5292, and 817-5292.
Phone ringing right now. Yeah. All right. So, and if people are hearing you and they want to assist you, maybe provide some items or help you with the distribution, is that possible?
That would be absolutely amazing, because the more we can reach, the better it's obviously going to be. It's Christmas is a time of giving, and it's not always about the gathering and the presents. I mean, whatever we can do as a community, it would be very much appreciated, 100%.
Yeah. And they call those same numbers?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
anything that you need right now?
Spread the word if you can, please. And Dwight, if you feel inspired in your own community to go ahead and exercise a similar initiative, all the same, just as good. Yeah.
That is good stuff.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good stuff. Can we expect more of this in the future from you all?
We'd love to be able to do it. We complain a lot as Bahamians about who's not doing certain things. A lot of us have the power within ourselves, and it doesn't have to be a grand thing. A meal, a bottle of water in some instances can go a long way. So the initiative is meant to, first and foremost, feed, but then also to inspire, for us to take care of ourselves and do things for each other.
Wow. This person's asking on our text line, can I send you a location now, or do I have to wait until Christmas Eve?
Absolutely not. The sooner we get it, the better it is.
Okay.
So logistically, if you can get it to us, then please do.
Yeah. Wow. And how do you avoid people taking advantage of this?
I'm going to ask folks to let your conscience be your guide. Our intention, honestly and truly, is just to fill a need that is there. And I don't want it to be something where there's this ridiculous vetting process. Let your heart and your conscience be your guide.
Wow. One more time, give us those numbers.
Okay, so it's 814-5253, 823-8294, 816-5292, and 817-5292.
This is great stuff that you're doing, Chadson Gray, you and everybody involved, again, the Purpose Group of Companies. Let love lead.
Let's do
this
it.
Christmas.
Let's do it.
Thank you for sharing it with us. Good luck, and we hope you put some smiles on people's faces this Christmas.
Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to spread the word.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to take a break for news, and we'll be talking about mental health during the holidays and more when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Mama, bake your Johnny cake, Christmas coming. Mama, bake your Johnny cake, Christmas coming. Christmas coming, Christmas coming, Christmas coming, Christmas coming.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible for everyone, everywhere, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Man, I can't wait to eat. I am starving.
You know our spot never disappoints. Boy, I left my wallet in the room. No way I'm going back.
Relax, buddy. You've got your phone, right?
Yeah, I do. Perfect. Just pay with $100 from your digital wallet. Good thing $100 transactions are seamless, safe, and convenient.
Yup, $100 save the day.
Experience the convenience of $100, the digital currency of the Bahamas. Whether you're dining out or anywhere else, $100 ensures seamless transactions. Join the future of payments with $100.
Looking for the perfect Sunday outing? The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas is now open and free to all Bahamian citizens and residents. Spend the day admiring the evolution of Bahamian art. Soak in the natural beauty of our art park and take a little piece of culture home with you by browsing our gift shop. Whether you're an art lover or just curious, we've got something here for everyone. Bring your family, your partner, or your friends and let the art inspire you this Sunday and beyond. The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, our home for Bahamian art.
It's an island love Christmas. Joys in the air. Jackpots are rising. There's luck everywhere. No snow on the ground. Just sunshine and cheer. It's an island love Christmas. Best time of year.
Island Luck wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Lucky New Year.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
As an athlete, I've learned that success isn't built on extras. It's built on the essentials. Strength, discipline, smart choices. That's why I'm proud to partner with Bahama Health to introduce Essential 300. A comprehensive health insurance plan that's all about covering what truly matters. Essential 300 is Bahama Health's most affordable major medical plan for groups and individuals. It offers access to a specialized network of care with essential benefits like preventative services, because real strength starts with staying healthy. You may not be training for a race, but everyone deserves strong and affordable coverage with Essential 300. With Bahama Health, you can feel good about your health plan and protect what truly matters, your health.
For more information, call 396-1350 or visit www.bahamahealth.com.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, December 15th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Andrew Cartwright. And this morning we are talking about your mental health during the holiday season, the holiday blues. Oh boy, here to guide us through this, we're very pleased to welcome from the Bahamas Psychological Association, psychologist Raquel Curry. Good to have you with us again.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
All right, so this is big. A lot of people really don't like this time of this year.
Yeah.
Maybe the most wonderful time for certain folks, but for others,
it's a hard time.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What makes it so hard, and we'll get into some strategies to cope. But what are we looking at commonly when people say or look like they have the blues?
So the holiday blues, when you think of the holiday blues, you want to think of seasonal sadness. That's another way to look at it,
Wow.
right? Where around the holiday times, either during or after, because it does also persist, you have low mood, you have emotional heaviness, anxiety, you're talking about sadness, and people have a difficult time trying to get through that because it's meant to be a joyous occasion.
Right.
Right? And so it's, why do I feel this heaviness when everybody else around me is feeling so excited and happy and going about their days, right? And so it gets misunderstood because of that, right? There's this contrast and this internal conflict because people are trying to figure out, why do I feel sad when this is a really joyous occasion? And that right there is like almost the first sign of seasonal sadness or holiday blues.
So it's not necessarily that you've experienced a trauma, that you lost somebody, or that things aren't going the way you planned?
So these things are all parts of how it can become holiday blues. Yes. So a lot of times people have lost family during the holiday season. So there's grief around that. There's also trauma. Things that would be family pressures, families that have wounds, and then you're getting pressured to be around those people.
Oh boy.
And that is overwhelming for a lot of people, right? And then it's almost you're asked to have some semblance of a blind obedience because that's what families do, right? No, come around, but then you don't feel welcomed. And then on top of that, let's talk about financial stress, right? This is a season where a lot of people go into some heavy debt or pressures because they feel like they have to. It's the have to. It's the blind obedience to the season that make people have a lot of low moods, anxiety, and high levels of stress.
My goodness. All right, so I want to come back to that because that's big, all of that. But are there people who don't know why they're feeling anything? Why they're feeling sad?
Of course, right? I mean, in the Bahamas, mental health is still a stigma. And so we're still trying to understand our feelings for the most part, right? And so there's a lot of people who don't know what is happening, especially because they just, they think maybe I'm just tired, I'm burnt out, I've been working a lot.
Right.
But what they don't pay attention to is the season. Like, it's happening only specifically during December and January, right?
Yeah.
That's the tell of why it would be called seasonal sadness, because it only comes overwhelming during this particular time. This is why it's associated with grief or loss or stuff like that. But also just regular day, realizing you have to come to these family gatherings or you have to come to doing extra things during the holiday season that they really don't want to do.
How much of it is nature? The fact that we're approaching the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. The day is getting shorter and shorter, and it's dark. This morning was very gloomy. It's dark and depressing. It's raining.
There's no sunshine during the holidays.
It's just awful. How much of a role does that play?
So that also does play a role, right? So the weather, and when it's colder, people feel a little bit more sad, or they feel like they want to stay in bed. It's almost like also when it's the rainy season, right?
Yeah.
There is no sunshine. It's like a gloom. And the gloom also affects your emotions as well. So yes, there is some level of a correlation between the weather and here, especially in other countries as well, right? So Bahamians who are maybe listening, who are overseas, right? The snow, the winter season, it definitely creates some blues because people just want the sun. Like you said, there's no sun and people just want the sun.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So that part, I feel like you could treat that easier than having to see that uncle who really makes you very uncomfortable.
Correct.
At Christmas dinner. So let's talk about the family and what to do when you're forced to be around issues that you haven't recovered from?
So I feel like we have, again, I keep saying this word, but blind obedience to having to be around our families, right? And we get left with guilt and shame if we don't show up. But a lot of people, they need this space to just say, hey, this is a hard season for me. And that makes sense. I'm going to set boundaries around how long I stay. I'm going to set boundaries around where I go and who I interact with, because you have the right to do that, right? You do have the right to say, you know what, this doesn't feel comfortable for me. I think I'm just going to leave, right? Just adjusting those expectations is really integral to this part of it, right? Because again, a lot of families have wounds that they've not talked about, and those things can resurface. And so that could look like you coming in, getting a plate of food, because that's the reason why you're there in the first place.
You can need the food.
Get your plate of food and go.
And it can feel better sometimes.
Yes, yes, right, yes. But if you don't, if it really feels hard for you, there's an opportunity to also seek help during the holiday season. Hotlines that are available around the clock, helplines that are available through the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as well as the Bahamas Psychological Association, to give somebody to talk to, because I think everybody needs someone to talk to. And it's anonymous, it's confidential, and it's professional, right? So people need to understand, I don't want to use this word, but their rights, their mental health rights, right? Their psychological rights, which means I don't have to unless I want to.
No. Do you ever recommend, psychologist Raquel Curry, that you this Christmas say, you know what, this is the time, after 45 years, I'm going to tell this sister of mine how much she really, right in front of everybody here at Christmas dinner. Yikes. Is that ever recommended?
No. And not in front of everyone. But again, you have people who can be dramatic. Even if I say it discreetly, they can then still pull it into the family, right? And so that's a really tricky one, right? And I don't want to go on the radio saying, yeah, y'all address y'all family. I'm not doing that. But I'm saying, if you feel like you have been dealing with an issue for a long period of time and you're wanting to release that, right? You're trying to heal, you're trying to get to the next step. It would be best to, I strongly advise you talking to a therapist on how to handle that.
Wow.
Because a lot of people do not do well with confrontation. And so that might make your holidays blues worse, right? And then you might be ex-nate from the family. We don't want these things, right? The repercussions are a little bit too heavy. So what we're looking at is helping people adjust first and figure out what they want to say, what is actually bothering them, and then they can go and address it. Because what do you end up saying, right? So family dynamics is one of the harder ones to address because you're dealing with, it's like in a workplace. You're dealing with many people's personalities all at once.
Right.
And that's not easy at all.
Wow. I'm just thinking, do you recommend you try to get that person in the family that's been causing you stress to join you in therapy? I'm sure there are easier things to do, but
good luck.
But what do you do if you feel a burning desire to have this sit down?
Well, if you feel a burning desire to have this sit down, I mean, we can't tell you no, right? You're going to go with what feels right for you. And I think it comes to that point when you are at your wit's end and you're fed up. Because I find that Bahamian people do take on a lot of, they will wait a while and see how things play out instead of addressing them just directly. Because like I said, a lot of people don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
And so when you have to be faced with this confrontation at a family gathering, that you're just adding a lot of layers to this. But for people who do feel like they need to address, I would not say don't, I would not say do. It's up to them, right? But if they realize that this is going to cause a lot of trauma in the end, maybe you would want to have a conversation before you do that.
Yeah. That's rough, yeah. All right, so for those dealing with loss of relationship, a loved one, what do you recommend at this time of year? This may be the first Christmas without that person.
That's a really good question. So dealing with people who have lost someone, there's many layers to this because they might have dismembered themselves from the family, like disengaged with the family. So because the first recommendation would be get back to the people that love you, right? The people that are reaching out. But a lot of times these situations create tension and create like separation in the family. So that's really hard to do out of the gate. So look for someone that you trust, right? Talk to someone that you trust and try to get them to be there with you in a way that supports you, because it's really important. You don't want to deal with this alone, because now not only dealing with grief, you're tacking on loneliness, and that can stoop into depression, and now we're sliding into trying to figure out how to go back to work, and we don't want to, right? So it's good to have someone that is support for you to be able to handle that time, because it will feel really lonely. It feels really lonely.
But if you don't feel like being around anybody,
that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a threshold. I tell people all the time, there's a threshold. Now, if you're alone, that's fine. But now if you're being isolated for like 2 weeks, just not really, that's a red flag. Even a week is a red flag.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so it's like, okay, now we need to talk to somebody. You're reaching a threshold now, right? There's no problem with being alone and trying to handle it by yourself. But when it becomes super overwhelming, it's important for you to reach out. Right, support systems are part of your psychological well-being, right? Isolating yourself is one thing, but what are your coping skills, right? What are your thoughts around yourself, and are you blaming yourself for the death? Are you right? These things don't help, right? So making sure that even if you are isolating, you're still isolating in a cave, air quotes, that feels safe, because safety is important, right? So how you talk to yourself, how you feel about yourself. The things that you do for yourself, the coping skills, is how you handle that isolation until you're ready to bring somebody into that space.
Right. And for those, maybe you didn't lose anybody, but you just look around and see all people coupled up, and everybody's having so much fun.
Okay, I need to hear this. Let's
go. Here you are again.
Hold on, no. Dwight, the matching pajamas. What if you don't have anybody to wear matching pajamas?
Here you are, fourth Christmas alone. And you just like, what do you say?
That is even more of the time to connect, right? So it's so interesting because
But people are so strange. Connect.
So I'm thinking about like people who have maybe like friend groups or a best friend, right? Match PJs with your best friend, match PJs with your dog, match PJs with your cat. You don't have to have a partner to feel complete. I need people to understand that. It's a complement, not a completion. And so if you are on the 4th year, okay, that's fine, hun. That's fine, right? But the sadness that you're feeling, it's important for you to, you have to connect, right? We heal from relationships through relationships. And so it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It could be platonic, it could be familial, it could be pastoral, right? It could be spiritual, a spiritual connection. No one's confining you to say it has to be this way. Right? Like I say,
well, maybe mom is. Maybe grandma keeps asking, when are you going to get married?
Oh my goodness.
But maybe.
Yeah, and those things happen around the holidays.
Right.
A lot, right? They come in just like, when you're going to have a child, when you're going to get married, when you're going to do this. Just like, when I'm ready. When I'm ready. Wow. Because it's my timeline, not yours. Right? And they don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And so for people who are feeling a little lonely and would want that extra cuddle in the cold, I would say get a weighted blanket and learn how to be okay with being okay by yourself.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So there are a lot of people who love to get away during this time.
Yeah.
Don't want to be. Yeah, I was going to say. Everybody look in the mirror. Is that coping or is that running away from something?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't title it running away. That could be coping. Now, the reality of having to leave because you don't want to deal, that's still coping, right? You're coping with it. I think it goes into escapism when that's the sole reason why you're leaving, right? If you want to experience that winter cabin in Colorado, do that.
You want a white Christmas.
Correct, right? There's no problem with that. And if you want to travel to a different place to get a different sense of scenery, there's no issue with that either, right? I actually encourage more people to see what other places in the world look like during Christmas time, because the Bahamas is I love the Bahamas at Christmas time. But if you are experiencing winter blues, move around, see what else is happening around there. And you don't have to, and it's better in a space where you don't know people, because then you don't have to conform to what they think you should do because you don't know them.
Yeah. No, that is great advice. All right. So, and for the folks who do have the weather affected, the seasonal affected issues, what do you say? Sit under a lamp, look at pictures of the beach, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? That one is a harder one.
Is it?
You think because you can't change the weather.
Okay.
Right? You can put on the jacket, but it doesn't change the feeling and the emotion behind what the dark and gloom is causing. Right? So we have to make sure that we are staying warm.
Oh, okay.
We're staying warm, and I know I keep saying it, but connecting with other people and letting people know what's up, right? Like I said earlier, this season is hard for me, but that's okay, right? I understand that.
Yeah.
And just voicing that without judgment or judging yourself, because who doesn't have hard times? I would like you to chime in right now and say, hey, I don't have a hard time ever.
Yeah.
Nobody, right? So it's just another version of a hard time.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier that you might need to talk to somebody trained. Let's talk about the Bahamas Psychological Association and the assistance you can help.
So the
provide.
The Bahamas Psychological Association has helplines, and the helplines are there for people to use. You would just go on www.bahamaspsychassociation.org, and essentially the homepage, the numbers will pop up.
Okay.
They will pop up if you're looking for somebody to call. We don't necessarily have people who provide one-on-one therapy, but if you reach out and say that's something that you need, they can connect you to a therapist because it's an association of therapists. So we can connect you to somebody, but the main resource here is the helpline. And the same for the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Again, we're talking with psychologist Raquel Curry. Give us a call if you have any questions, concerns about this time of year for yourself or someone you know. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I know the answer to this, but I'm sure a lot of people will try to help themselves feel better by drinking or other substances. Let's talk about the dangers of that.
So the holiday season, that's when you get together and you know, libations. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that throughout the year they also might be drinking, right? So there's not only just mental health repercussions, but also physical repercussions, right? So I used this word before and I'll say it again, if you're escaping the blues that you're feeling through using substances, that only actually makes it worse because alcohol depresses your brain, right? So it will add to the depression that you already feel. And honestly, the only thing you're doing with substances is numbing it anyway. So when you go to sleep, you wake back up, it's still there. You didn't do anything, right? So I never really suggest people cope with using substances because it just doesn't make any sense. After you come down from that euphoria, the problem's still there, saying, hey, I still exist, right? And so the problems with using alcohol or deciding to drink copious amounts. Now, hear me. I'm not saying that it's bad to drink alcohol. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, drink some wine or whatever the case may be. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the excessive, right? The excessive drinking, the drinking to escape, the dependency that you're relying on alcohol to not feel, you know what, I'm just going to come into the door with a cup already and keep drinking. That is the problem. That's a huge red flag that something's going on for yourself, right? Be self-aware and understand that even though we accept it socially, that still doesn't make it okay to do.
Yeah, and we are telling every generation that comes behind us that this is what you do, right?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem to be
modeling.
Yeah,
right. We're modeling that in the holiday season you drink, and not just on the holiday season, any celebratory occasion, right? Why we have the baby shower with bottles and bottles and bottles, right?
But also when you're down, come have a drink with me.
Yeah,
right.
Which is so interesting because again, alcohol is a downer. So it's almost like you're putting something in your system that will further bring you down.
Right.
And people say, oh, well, that helped. The alcohol didn't help. The conversation did. The connection did.
Yeah.
The space that the person created for you that was safe, even though alcohol was present, is what made you feel better. Right. The safety of that person, not the alcohol.
Wow. So
Connection.
come out and have some yogurt with me. Maybe we should
Pilates together. Don't sleep on the frozen yogurt.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I actually had a question as well because, at the back end of the year, you're winding down, preparing for a new year. And, we begin the time thinking that we may not have accomplished everything that we wanted in the year, and that could cause us also to feel sad. And we're starting off another year not where we want to be and whatnot. What would you say to folks that may still have a few more things on their to-do list and are putting so much pressure on themselves, but even before a new year begins?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the end of year does bring that finality that people feel like, I should have checked off these boxes. I should have. Why didn't I? Right? And I always find that the pressure that they're placing on no one else really is. Right? Sometimes we place this pressure on ourselves based on the same thing we were talking about, just how we were raised and how our parents put pressure on us. And so we learned to put pressure on ourselves. And so the list, I find that most people's lists are not defined by year, right? But if you find that you haven't completed your list, it's okay to carry over. You don't mind when your vacation hours carry over, right? So why can't your goals carry over?
Wow, that's a good one.
It's a continuous process. It isn't saying, okay, at the end of 2025, I will have. And if you don't have, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you need to beat yourself up. I was talking earlier about healthy thinking. The minute you start to beat yourself up because you're not reaching your goals, that's when your self-esteem immediately gets attacked. Your self-esteem gets attacked, your confidence gets attacked. Your confidence gets attacked, now we're talking about anxiety. Now we're talking about stress. Now we're talking about high levels of depression, right? Because it just all connects. So the pressure that you're putting on yourself is not necessary.
Yeah.
Because January's still here. It's almost as if you don't think you're going to live to see another day, right? Because why are you putting the pressure behind not achieving the goals? And of course, there's going to be people who disagree with what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, we have some year-end goals and stuff like that. But again, it's about that, I don't want to say level of forgiveness, but the ways in which you treat yourself and the things that you say to yourself to make sure you understand that it's okay. It is okay. I don't have to beat myself up. I don't have to drag myself because I didn't get married at the end of 2025. Good. Maybe you dodged a bullet. Did you ever think about that, right? That's a good thing, right? And for a lot of people, actually, that's something that's happening. Some people are going into 2026 not married, and they started 2025 married, right? Divorces are up, right? So the line shifts. And the problem with that is we don't know how to deal with adjustment, or we don't know how to deal with the shifts. We feel like we have to control everything. And that in its very self is anxiety. Yeah. 100%. Right? The need to control. And so it's like, if you feel like you're out of control and you feel like you're chaotic, you need to be able to, it isn't even about prioritization or itemization. It's really just about taking that pressure off of you and not wanting to be always in control.
Wow. You mentioned anxiety, the things that people get worked up about, right? Making this cake the way Grandma did, or feeding all these folks who are coming to the party. What do you say to people who are who can't sleep, who can't function because of the pressure they put themselves on?
Ask for help.
To be great Christmas entertainers.
Yeah, I think, I was on the radio one time ago and we were talking about asking for help and how the society is a culture, like we have a big issue just asking for help. It doesn't take anything away from you, and it doesn't show that you're weak. It doesn't show that you don't know what you're doing if you ask for help, especially if you are overwhelmed, because you still have to work. You have kids. You have to buy those kids things. There's traffic. Traffic in the holiday season is extremely overwhelming. It's so
one of the
overwhelming.
Worst parts.
Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of things already compounding.
Yeah.
You don't need to take on any more things that stress you out further. Right? This is because then you're moving it out of holiday blues and you're moving it into existential crisis, forever long problems, because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you assist me with this? A lot of people don't know how to ask for help.
Yeah. that is it's so simple, right? Again, we're talking with psychologist Raquel Curry. You can give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Are you noticing the blues more common with a certain age group, or what are we seeing? Is it across the board? Does it matter?
It's across the board.
Yeah.
It's across the board. It doesn't. Teenagers, I think people think that young people, so like anywhere between the ages of 6 to about 25, they don't have anything to really be blue about, right? Because that's the time when you're getting all of these gifts. But it's something else, right? Because I've dealt with a lot of people who would have lost their parents at this time, or their sibling, their grandparents. Some of them mattered to them a lot, right? So it is important that parents don't ignore or dismiss if their child is experiencing holiday blues. And then furthermore, if their parent, right? Because elderly psychological well-being is still a thing. Yeah. And you need to understand if your parent, right? Because they might be feeling like this is their last. People at that age are dealing with their own mortality, right? And so it's important for everybody to understand this is an everybody problem. This is not just people who don't have no family, or people who homeless, or people who this. It is not a targeted issue. It's an everyone issue, just like mental health. As long as you have a brain, you have mental health.
Yeah. Wow. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are live on the air. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Now, this text, I don't understand it. This person says, I feel an overwhelming feeling of exuberance during Christmas because I don't celebrate it. Do you understand the text? Yeah.
It's like I feel good because I don't celebrate it. Like I don't put the pressure on myself. So I feel exuberance. Like I feel great. Wow. I feel great because I don't even celebrate Christmas. So the pressures you guys are talking about, that's not me because I don't even celebrate it. Right. I don't conform to Christmas, which is such an interesting thing.
Yeah. I mean, you do see it after like December 26th. Like all of that was for what?
Correct. Right. It's a very commercialized holiday.
And I feel like a lot more persons are accepting that now, right? Because outside of those who may be participating in it for religious reasons and whatnot, it's literally catch a sale here, go spend time here, go attend this party here. But when you really take a step back, like, how's that contributing truly to my happiness? And then am I putting myself in a financial deficit just to do things that other persons expect me to do? So freeing yourself of the expectation of others could be quite freeing, actually, but it's also the financial obligation. Like the very fact that we have folks, like I remember growing up and hearing some of my relatives talking about how they taken out a short-term loan so they could buy new furniture, paint up the place for Christmas and things like that, or buying gifts and whatnot. And like I was a child wondering, why would you do that? Like, why would you put yourself into financial debt, essentially? Because if you're taking out a loan, that means you don't have the funds to do it in that moment in time for something that you could do at any point in time, or you could save up to do. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and still going on. People still doing it.
For sure. And I mean, I appreciate the banks that do have like Christmas, pools, right? Because it gives people an opportunity to be a little bit more better with their finances. So the time that Christmas rolls around, they already have this, allotted cash to the gift giving and the secret Santas that are 100% pressure. Because if you're working in the office and you don't want to do the secret Santa, you're the Scrooge, right? Like you're not a team player, like da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, I spent $50 for a gift and I get something that was only like $10, right? So like the disparities, the disparities in that and the pressures that people put on people to have financial... I didn't ask to be a part of this. Right. You guys pulling me into this. And it just creates, I don't think people understand the trickle down to how that affects people's mental health.
I think you might need to say that again. Because some of these, I've already heard stories for this season of nightmare Christmas Santa pools and what's going on.
I mean, The Secret Santa
Secret
thing?
Santa. Yeah.
No, listen, I remember participating. 'Cause I love Secret Santa stuff, right? But then, like, I try to play by the rules for the most part, right? But I remember one time I did this in my former workplace, and my Secret Santa was treating me so good. I was getting Ferrero Rocher chocolates. I got a Dairy Queen ice cream cake and things like that. Everybody in the office trying to figure out, well, who was my Secret Santa? And then when we did the big reveal and I got a pretty nice present, like likewise, I was doing the same thing to my Secret Santa, who this person just happened not to be. And their Secret Santa wasn't doing nothing for them. At the end of it, I think they got like a box of crackers or something like that. And I'm like, this is like, wow. And you could see that you could see like how sad she was.
Yeah.
So like this is what because she got none of the little things leading up to it, even though she was doing it. And she wasn't doing it out of any expectation. But at the same time, I also see like during the seasons when you have persons filled with joy because of, this is the time for giving and whatnot, and they actually like doing that. When they encounter people who are users, who are takers, right? And then it's like their joy just gets drained.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also a contributor to the holiday blues, because then you remember that next year and the year after that. And it's just like, oh man, the holiday, Secret Santa is coming up, the office Secret Santa is coming up, and I have to do this because if I don't do this, then I could look like I ain't a team player. It's stressful for some people.
Yeah. And then also I can get treated good, even though I'm treating somebody else good. And then that could also remind you of other situations going on in life. So it's like you say, like trickle down, connectivity, and it's like, oh, nothing's changed. Yeah. And then another year comes up and it's the same thing over and over and goes into the existential to do. So it's like, I don't think that we realize as humans how these small things add up. Like they really do add up. But I feel like the holidays just amplifies it sometimes. So. Yeah.
That's because the expectation is higher during the holiday time, right? You're expected to give, right? You're expected to show up. The church is doing something. You're expected to give. Now, like these different places, and even if it's like your child's, what do you call it, class party, right? You're expected to give, and it's just like people live in paycheck to paycheck, right? Like you're aware of this. This is really stressful for them. So why do we have such an emphasis on financial debt being a version of love and giving, right? Why can't we find another way? There are a multitude of ways. Don't ask me what, but there's I'm sure I know he's going to say like what. But no, there's a multitude of ways that you can give joy and, you know what I mean? Happiness.
I also have a follow-up to that because it's almost so why do we constrain the giving to one part of the year? Because when we look at the amount of...
it's not one part of the year.
No,
it's all over. Every month there's something.
Birthdays.
Every month.
Valentine's.
Something.
So primarily what I'm thinking, right, because I do a lot of volunteer work, right?
Oh, you mean that type?
Right, that's what I mean. So we concentrate so much of that activity in December. Let's throw a Christmas party at this children's home or whatnot. And you'll have multiple entities doing that, but during the month of December for the most part. And then January, February, March, it's dry. And I'm like, I just wonder, when we talk about the efficiency of impact within the community, beyond December, like what additional impact are you having on those who really need it? Yeah. Because we all know that the attention is going to come during December, but did you forget me in January? Did you forget me in February?
Especially the summer, right? Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning, folks. How are you?
Doing well.
Oh, that's good. I want to speak in the spirit of giving. That's what y'all speaking about, right?
We're talking about the holiday blues, people who are finding it difficult at this time of year.
Yeah, but I heard just now, I think Miss Cartwright, she said about somebody got some crackers.
Yeah, you heard right.
Yeah, and y'all laugh. Well, maybe they were granola crackers, which were very healthy for somebody, right?
No, man, that was some $2 Jacob's crackers during the time because this was about 10 years ago at this point.
But it doesn't matter. Let me
oh, it does matter because participating inside that Secret Santa at that time, the minimum was $25.
Oh.
Right, and so the person knew that they were going to be receiving a gift for $25 minimum, and they still decided to give that person something that cost $2.
Well, okay, listen to this, right? Maybe the person who gave it didn't know that because actually Just now, y'all didn't say anything.
No, we
about
were
it.
talking. I don't think you heard it. Secret Santa. We were talking about the pressure little things that we put pressure on folks.
Okay, because I'm a person like that, right? I can crochet. I love to crochet things. I crochet little doilies for your furniture or your furniture toss. I love to give, right? I do. I kid you not. I will, but I do things. I love to make like, the little, when you put like the vinegar and the pepper and the onions in there, and then you wrap it up and you give it to them, put on your little food. I love look, and you listen, and you can pay plenty for that in the food store. Okay? But you can't, it's a spirit of giving. The person could have said, well, listen, I'm not going to give anything. And that's the mean people. But you give because you love to give. But you give according to your pocketbook. And what you give some things, right, it weighs more than $1 million because you can't find it nowhere else. You understand? And in the spirit of giving now, anybody who can give, you can cook for them, right? It ain't no $25, right? But you're cooking for them. Say, well, okay, you're cooking probably even to do a catering. It weighs more than that. I say it's in the spirit of giving.
Mm-hmm.
It no value on it, but you give anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, let's talk about it. So maybe that can be something to get you out of the blues.
I was just talking about other ways, right?
Right.
Other ways,
Mm-hmm.
because this pull on just getting money or buying things, the glitz and glamour of, I think someone told me that their work pool was $150, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Work what?
Yeah. And I was like, that ain't even what it's about. You know what I mean? Putting things into perspective. And I like the idea of cooking because I love my belly. So like if my Secret Santa cooked for me, I'd drop a muffin or something each day over the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even care what y'all got. Keep your John Bull, keep your Birkin. I want the chili. I want the food, right? It's so we weren't necessarily talking about diminishing the capacity of the gift as much as understanding the pressures that are behind performing and giving the gift.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so your final words of advice to folks who are not looking forward to the next few days, even hearing Christmas music gets them upset. What do you say?
I definitely would have to say that you don't have to feel joyful to be worthy of rest, care, or love during this season. If you're finding that you have the holiday blues, there's more than enough opportunities and hotlines for you to call and talk to somebody because you don't have to be alone and know that it's okay not to be okay, right? That's really what's important in all of this. Don't put pressure on yourself. Set boundaries. If you want to leave early, that's okay, right? And I know that we live in a society where people will judge you and be mean or have something to say if you do have boundaries. We don't like boundaries as Bahamian people for some strange reason. Wow. But that's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, you're in your own lane and you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on yourself. But in the season of giving, I'm not talking about not giving. Hear me clearly. Mm-hmm. I'm saying be in your lane. Do what feels good for you. And don't put pressure on yourself because what other people expect of you. Do not conform to the blind obedience that is being asked of the holiday season because that does not feel good for you. Mm-hmm. So, for people who want to do it a different way, do it a different way. Stop judging yourself, right? Someone might want that and you don't even know because you think everybody, and there's another part to it where people tell people what they got others and that automatically gets in their head and say, okay, I need to either one up or match. And it's like, no, you don't. You know your person. And if you don't know your person, get to know them.
Your girlfriend got you a car, but you got a box of crackers, right? And what does that mean? Don't watch other people.
Correct.
Stay in your lane.
Focus on yourself, right?
Psychologist Raquel Curry, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy the holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
We're going to take a break and then be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Let
This holiday season, as we reflect on a year of opportunities and challenges, CFAL remains committed to strengthening the financial future of the Bahamas. For more than 25 years, we've partnered with individuals, businesses, and institutions to build secure pensions, resilient investment portfolios, and long-term financial confidence. This Christmas, we celebrate progress and continue our mission to help you plan wisely, invest strategically, and secure what matters most to you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
As an athlete, I've learned that success isn't built on extras. It's built on the essentials. Strength, discipline, smart choices. That's why I'm proud to partner with Bahama Health to introduce Essential 300, a comprehensive health insurance plan that's all about covering what truly matters. Essential 300 is Bahama Health's most affordable major medical plan for groups and individuals. It offers access to a specialized network of care with essential benefits like preventative services, because real strength starts with staying healthy. You may not be training for a race, but everyone deserves strong and affordable coverage with Essential 300. With Bahama Health, you can feel good about your health plan and protect what truly matters, your health.
For more information, call 396-1350 or visit www.bahamahealth.com.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
It's that time of year again when we look ahead, setting goals, making plans, and envisioning a better tomorrow. At CFAL, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're ready to start investing, strengthen your retirement, or build lasting generational wealth, CFAL helps you plan wisely, invest strategically, and secure what matters most, a brighter, more confident future for you and your family. Call us today to speak with a trusted financial advisor and start the new year on the right track. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. Royal Caribbean International officially opening its $200 million Royal Beach Club attraction on the western end of Paradise Island, marking the first of a group of Royal Beach Clubs. RCI set to open across the world. In the first quarter of next year, Bahamians will be able to invest in the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Prime Minister Philip Davis said the investment aspect is important for Bahamians, given that they will finally be able to own a large part of the tourism development. The Prime Minister saying that ownership means Bahamians are not standing outside watching success pass by, and that ownership means the country has a stake that connects performance to public benefit. The Bahamian people will have a 49% stake in the project, with 1% of gross revenue going to the Tourism Development Corporation's Tourism Development Fund to advance national projects in tourism, including the redevelopment of downtown Nassau. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper said the deal struck with RCI for beach clubs represents a partnership and a model for future foreign direct investment projects. And President of Royal Caribbean Group Bahamas, Philip Simon, says the beach club has hired more than 500 Bahamians and is being operated 100% by Bahamians and Bahamian companies, as was required in the deal struck by the government. The deal with RCI also includes a long-term lease for a plot of Crown land on Paradise Island. The company owns the other property on which the lion's share of the beach club is built. The Bahamas National Statistical Institute, the BNSI, revealing in its recently published Foreign Trade Statistics Quarterly Report for Quarter 3 that both imports and exports declined in the quarter compared to the same period in 2024. The report said that data on merchandise trade for Quarter 3 shows that the value of commodities imported into the Bahamas totaled $1.3 billion, resulting in a decrease of 3% when compared with the same period last year. The major groups of merchandise were machinery and transport equipment, which totaled $356 million, food and live animals at $210 million, and manufactured goods classified chiefly by materials, which totaled $194 million. Other categories that contributed to total imports were miscellaneous manufactured articles and more. You can read about that in today's Guardian business section. Overseas, Volkswagen is making a major bet in China, the largest and one of the most cutthroat auto markets in the world. The question is whether it'll work. The German carmaker, which once dominated the market with more than 50% share, has invested 3 billion euros or $3.5 billion in a sprawling research and development center, its largest outside its home country of Germany. This is now in a low-key central city with about 10 million people. It's a sea change from how foreign automakers operated in China for decades by making cars they developed overseas, sharing their technology with local partners. That strategy has been shoved aside by fast-rising local competitors who've sharply cut into the sales of foreign brands. And Roomba maker iRobot has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, which says that it doesn't expect any disruptions to devices. More than the 30-year-old company is taken private under a restructuring process. iRobot, which became well known for its robotic vacuums, has struggled of late, dealing with increased competition, layoffs, and declining stock price. In 2022, Amazon announced that it agreed to buy iRobot for about $1.7 billion, but that deal was later called off. Amazon blamed undue and disproportionate regulatory hurdles after the European Union signaled its objection to the transaction. Amazon said at the time that it would pay iRobot a previously agreed termination fee of $94 million, and iRobot said that it would undergo a restructuring to help stabilize the company. And a Gallup Index poll that summarizes Americans' assessment of current economic conditions falling to a 17-month low in November. Consumers also indicating less enthusiasm for spending money on holiday gifts. Their estimated gift budgets decreased $229 between October and November, the largest drop Gallup has recorded at that point of the holiday shopping season. The survey was conducted in November, partially during the government shutdown, which might have tempered spending plans. The worst-case impact on consumer prices that many economists foresaw from the Trump administration's tariff policies hasn't materialized yet. Some products have been affected more than others, though. Games and toys were particularly susceptible to tariff-related price increases since the majority of the ones sold in the U.S. are made in China. The uncertainty making it hard for toy shops to decide what to order for the holidays. Consumer electronics are also mostly made in China and other Asian countries. In 2023, China accounted for 78% of U.S. smartphone imports and 79% of laptop and tablet imports. In your Market Watch, recapping the week from last week, the local market ended the week with 494,794 shares crossing the exchange, with 25 trades accumulating a value of $3,092,249. The BISX All-Share Index gained 14.95 points, or 0.49%, ending the week at 3,095.72. Year-to-date, the index is up 87.50 points, or 2.91%. The volume and value leader, Focall, moving 370,000 shares in one trade with a value of $2,534,500. That's your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in to CFAL Talks tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. And Deandra, you have an announcement?
I do. There was an accident up home on Long Island this weekend, Saturday, 13th of December, and we had two of our young persons airlifted to New Providence. That is Nakeem and Kyle Harding. Kyle is an 11th grader. He is in need of blood, so if you are able to donate blood, please go to the blood bank. That's PMH's blood bank at Collins Avenue to please help these young men out. Also, happy birthday to my mother. Today is her birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Mom. I wish those young men all the best. That sounds pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here this morning, Deandra.
Always a pleasure to be here, Dwight.
I'll see you next week, Monday, Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be our last one for the year?
No.
No?
There's the 29th, after Christmas. Don't try to run. Now, will I be here for that show? That's the question.
Well, see,
but anyway,
leave me alone.
Have a great one. I'll see you next week, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.